Welcome to Comm Chat 14.
14.
Unbelievable.
That's what we always say.
I'm Ralph Merkel.
I'm Mary Ashlock.
Joining us, Dr. Lindsay Della.
Yay. How are you?
All right. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
We hear you have some news to share with us about a possible grant.
Possible. I think it's an actual
I think
grant.
it's an actual grant. Yeah.
So,
That's true.
what are you studying? Tell us about first of all, whose money is it?
Oh, okay. Well, we got some money.
Yay.
Some, I'd say, yes, a good sum.
Yes, it's close to 400,000. I think it totals $397,000.
Well, that's almost what I make in a year. Amazing.
I know, me too, right?
So, and what are you studying?
Well, the money came from the National Institutes of Health, and in particular, the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
NHLBI. And the way we proposed the research project was in light of some of the cardiovascular disease rates in the state of Kentucky. We are, we have the second highest prevalence of cardiovascular disease of all the states in the nation.
Yeah.
We're second.
We're second.
Kentucky.
Prevalence,
Second in a bad way.
yes,
yes,
right.
yeah,
It's not something to brag about.
Yeah.
Second.
Yeah, so, and prevalence means like the number of people who are living with the disease currently. I think the latest numbers I had looked up put us 7th in the nation in terms of the number of deaths from cardiovascular disease. So as prevention methods, there are several. Certainly losing weight and changing your dietary habits are some pretty decent ways to try to prevent or curb the progression of cardiovascular disease. So the research that we have is focused on trying to increase fruit and vegetable consumption, and perhaps in light of substituting fruits and vegetables for other things, maybe not so healthy things. So the other thing we've also been looking at is in particular the African American communities in the state of Kentucky, because African American communities have higher prevalence rates of cardiovascular disease, along with other health issues. But we are interested in some of the structural and cultural barriers that exist within those communities. And we're looking at not only the Louisville area, but how an urban area like Louisville might be a little bit different in terms of its culture and structural barriers versus someplace that's smaller town or more rural.
Oh, good comparison there.
Yeah,
City,
small
rural.
town, city comparison going on as well.
So when you say we, so you're investigating along with?
I have a fairly large research team.
Yay.
And
Yeah, that's excellent.
this is good because it's a big project. And the research actually came through the Center for Intercultural Communication.
Oh, okay.
And so Dr. Margaret Da Silva is also one of the key investigators on the grant. And then we have a pretty interdisciplinary team. When we wrote the grant, actually, we had 2 individuals from sociology, the late Dr. Clarence Talley and Dr. Debbie Potter. And Dr. Talley since passed away. So his wife has really stepped up. She's the chair of Pan-African Studies, Dr.
Nice.
Reza
So,
Talley.
Yeah, great.
And she's helped us quite a bit, especially with the first phases of the research and helping us to sort of make some connections in West Louisville. And then we also have an anthropologist, Dr. Lisa Markowitz, who has stepped in to sort of help us keep moving along in the absence of Dr. Clarence Talley. So pretty big group, and for this first phase of the research, Dr. Siobhan Smith has also joined us to help collect some data.
Too. So you've got, you've got
And
yourself.
CommChat viewers, of course, remember Siobhan from a couple of weeks ago.
And Dr. Margaret Da Silva was on.
everybody's
So
been on.
you've got 3. Oh no.
Oh, okay.
You're
More
one
to
of the
come.
more featured.
Well, so given your research then, what are you hoping to discover, and are you going to decide or make recommendations on how to remediate the problems you might find?
This is a great question, and of course people always ask, well, what's the big outcome?
Right.
And I sort of spend a little time explaining how NIH hands out money.
Right.
There are a couple different structures in place that build upon one another. So there's what's called a small grant structure that's supposed to help new researchers get started, or even if you're a person who's been doing research in one area, if you want to switch areas and look at a new area, these little pots of money are to help you pilot an idea. So usually those pots of money are about 150,000 to maybe 200,000. Not real big for NIH.
Right, but decent
But
to get you started, for sure.
Great amount of money to get started with a pilot project. This grant that we have is kind of in the middle, and it's designed, once you do the pilot study, to help you take it to sort of a larger step. So it's designed to help you collect what's called formative research, the research that goes on before you would actually implement a program large scale. And the last pot of money, which can be a couple $1 million if you're lucky, would be to implement a program and evaluate its design. So of course that's, you hope you move along in that direction. We're kind of in the middle right now. So we are very research oriented and not so much programmatically oriented. But the hope is that when we're finished with the phases of research that we've laid out, we have a really good idea of what that program should look like in perhaps different parts of the state, whether you're in a more urban area or a more rural small town area. And so the proposal is to come up with a program design by the end of the research.
All right, so an actual program versus just recommendations. You're
Well, these are recommendations for program design, basically.
Yeah, to say, hey, here's some things you could implement.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And so there could be a third step with even bigger bucks down the road, ideally.
That's what I
mean, not
yeah.
I mean, that's
based on that
in a perfect
outline.
world.
That's the perfect world scenario, yes. Those are, I mean,
fantastic.
it's getting very difficult to, you know, to write and receive monies from the government on any level because of the budget situation. So I was really excited, and I think we're very fortunate to be funded this time around, but we'll see how it goes. One of the things that's always challenging with NIH is that you not only have to write a really solid proposal for research or for your program, but you also have to show that you are innovative, that this is something new that hasn't been done before.
That's
so
a catch, for
that
sure.
is challenging because there are lots of things that have been tried before.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you're not proposing something that's already been tried, and you're proposing something that is what they will consider innovative. And there's a whole section of the proposal where you write about your innovation. So that's a key element of making sure, or a key element you want to make sure that you've covered so that you can at least be in the running for some of the grant monies that NIH has.
Well, you know, speaking, if we lived in a perfect world, we could sit here all day long and talk with you about your grant and your research, but unfortunately, Tia Johnson, my bossy floor director, who is a student, by the way, and thanks DJ and Melissa doing audio up there, and Joe Murphy
And
camera. Is it 3 or 1? Oh, it's a 1. There's a big one right there.
There's a big one right there.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for Comm Chat. Dr. Lindsay Della, thanks for joining us.
Look for her for more details,
Oh, yes,
especially in
really.
the classroom for students to learn about that is incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fun to be able to be doing the research because I teach research methods in the department, so I can talk about some of the challenges and examples that pop up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
but that is all the time
that's all we have.
for
Congratulations.
Comm Chat.
Thanks.
Yes, congratulations. We're really glad to hear about your research. And of course, you'll keep us posted.
I will.
Yes.
Okay. I'm Ralph Merkel.
I'm Mary Ashlock.
And Dr. Lindsay Della.
We'll see you next time on Comm Chat.